The dust had long settled since the Tournament of Power. A fragile peace graced Universe 7, a welcome respite from the constant threat of annihilation. On Earth, Goku and Vegeta continued their relentless training, their friendly rivalry pushing them to ever greater heights. Goku, ever the cheerful warrior, focused on perfecting his Ultra Instinct, while Vegeta relentlessly pursued his own path to power, honing his Ultra Ego form. The days were filled with the familiar sounds of Kai blasts echoing from the gravity chamber and the laughter of their families. It was a time of simple joys, of barbecues at Capsule Corp, and of a shared sense of security, a belief that they had finally earned a lasting tranquility for their world. They had faced gods and monsters, and had always emerged victorious, strengthening their bond. This idyllic existence, however, was merely the calm before a storm of cosmic proportions. Unseen and unheard, a new menace stirred in the forgotten corners of the multiverse. They were not beings of destruction in the same vein as Frieza or Moro. They were something far more insidious. These entities called themselves the Demon Angels, a race of fallen celestial beings who had been cast out by the Omni King eons ago for their desire to corrupt mortals and feed on their negative emotions. They moved through the dimensions like whispers, their presence a subtle poison that soured the very fabric of reality. Their leader, a being named Malachor, had set his sights on Universe 7, seeing it as a fertile ground filled with powerful warriors whose potential for darkness was immense. The Demon Angels did not announce their arrival with grand explosions or overt declarations of war. Their approach was far more cunning. They first appeared as ethereal figures, almost like ghosts on the fringes of perception. They observed the Z-Fighters from the shadows, studying their strengths, their weaknesses, and most importantly, their desires. Malachor was particularly fascinated by Vegeta, the prince of all Saiyans. He saw a deep well of pride, a history of rage, and a lingering frustration that simmered just beneath the surface. Vegeta had found a new life on Earth, but the Demon Angel could sense the old Saiyan instincts, the hunger for absolute power that had once defined him. This, Malachor knew, was the key to his grand design. Their first contact was not a battle, but a whisper. As Vegeta pushed himself to his limits, a voice slithered into his mind, soft and beguiling. It spoke of his wasted potential, of how he was always living in Goku's shadow. It praised his pride and his warrior heritage, telling him that his true destiny was not to be a protector, but a conqueror. The voice promised him a power beyond that of the gods of destruction, a power that would make him the undisputed strongest in all universes. It was a tempting offer, a serpent's promise that preyed on Vegeta's deepest insecurities. The Demon Angels were not trying to defeat Vegeta with force, they were trying to seduce him with his own ambition, offering him the one thing he had always craved above all else. Vegeta initially dismissed the whispers as a sign of exhaustion. He was a proud warrior who had forged his own path, choosing to fight for his family and his new home. He had cast aside the darkness that once consumed him during his time with Babidi. Yet the voice of Malachor was persistent, returning each time Vegeta felt a pang of frustration or a moment of doubt. It showed him visions of a future where Kakarot once again surpassed him, leaving him behind in the dust. It showed him a universe where his strength was absolute, where no one could ever threaten his family or his pride again. The Demon Angels were masters of psychological warfare, slowly chipping away at the walls Vegeta had built around his heart for years. The corruption was a gradual process, a slow poisoning of his spirit. Malachor offered Vegeta a taste of the Demon Angel's power. During a grueling training session, as Vegeta struggled to break his limits, a surge of dark energy flowed into him. It was intoxicating. His strength skyrocketed, his senses sharpened, and he felt a primal fury he had not experienced since he was a ruthless invader. This dark power felt natural, like an extension of his own Saiyan rage. The Demon Angels explained that this was his birthright, the true nature of his power, unshackled from the morals and weaknesses he had adopted on Earth. They claimed they were not corrupting him, but liberating him from his self-imposed chains. The final push came when Malachor revealed their true nature. The Demon Angels manifested before Vegeta, their forms a terrifying fusion of divine grace and demonic malevolence. Malachor explained that to fully unlock this power, Vegeta had to embrace his past. He had to accept the darkness within him, the part of him that reveled in destruction and dominance. It was a choice. Remain the second best, a protector forever in Goku's shadow, or seize a power that would make him a god among mortals. The Demon Angels offered him a pact. In exchange for his loyalty, they would anoint him as their champion, granting him the full might of a Demon Angel, a power that would eclipse even Ultra Ego. For a moment Vegeta hesitated. He thought of Bulma, of Trunks, and even of Bulla. He thought of the life he had built. But then, the image of Goku, smiling and effortlessly powerful in his Ultra Instinct form, flooded his mind. The years of frustration of being one step behind boiled over. His pride, the very core of his being, screamed at him to accept. With a roar that shook the very foundations of the planet, Vegeta made his choice. Dark energy erupted from him, his armor cracking and reforming into a twisted obsidian version of his Saiyan battlesuit. His hair flashed, not gold or blue but a deep malevolent crimson, and his eyes glowed with abyssal power. He was no longer just Vegeta, he was the harbinger of the demon angels.